Hi, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Seth, and this is The Forever Young Show. The most powerful force in this world is a woman who knows who she is, why she is here, and what she wants to accomplish.
And that's where self-care comes in. As a woman, it is my opportunity and my responsibility to take care of me.
Self-care for your mind.
Self-care for your body.
Self-care for your money.
Our mission is to serve women as they fulfill their irreplaceable roles in families, society, business, the fabric of humanity.
So let's get this show on the road.
So Tish, why don't you tell us about finding your untapped potential?
Oh, I love being a woman. I don't know about you, but I love being a woman. It's one of those best things that we have in life. And I have a granddaughter who wears a shirt that says, girls rule and boys drool. And yeah. And you know, at that age, it's cute. I don't know about, did you guys see the Barbie movie?
No.
Haven't.
Don't go see it.
Okay.
Okay.
We were in New York. We were in New York, actually in Times Square when it was all kind of a big hubbub, and everything was pink.
Everything was pink. Yeah.
I did like that,
being a woman. So, but the show in my depiction was like they downgraded men, you know, and men, we need men in lives, but women need women in lives. We just are great things. There's this gentleman that I found at a convention that we went to, and he was from Louisiana. And he just started telling me his story. And he says that he went down to go visit his dad down in Louisiana. And his father and grandfather had the family farm. And it's all Civil War area down there. And his grandpa said to him, I want you to go in the barn. I want you to pick whatever you want. He's like, oh, this is really cool. So he goes out in the barn, and there's tons of stuff out there. And he sees this big door. It's like a 10-foot ugly door, heavy. And he said to his grandpa, can I have that door? And he goes, you don't want that door. He says, yeah, I do. I have a place for it at home. So this gentleman took his door home, and it was heavy, and he installed it, and he went to close it, and it goes, thunk, thunk. It's like, that is weird. So he opened it and closed it again, thunk, thunk. He goes, there is something inside this door. So he took the door off, and he took the panels off the door, and guess what was inside?
A leprechaun.
An old Civil War rifle and a sword that had been hidden in that door. And I love this story because, you know, you look at that door and it was just of no worth to anybody. But inside was something spectacular. And he says that was his greatest treasure. And that was something really cool. And that's us as women. We have this potential inside us that is so grand. Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional, but we are of worth. And that's what we need to tell women throughout the world, is I am of worth and I'm enough. So that's the way we're gonna start this session off with.
Yes, I love it.
That's why we're doing this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I think there are a lot of women, I'm speaking personally. I am speaking personally because I've been surrounded by women my whole life. Obviously, my family. My mom was a single mom when I was born. Lived with my grandparents, and my grandma and my granddad were integral. Had two moms. I had aunts living with us. So I was surrounded by women, right? Steph was a single mom when we met. I've been mentored in the professional community by women. So I have this, that's why I'm here. By the way, if anybody's wondering, so what,
How does he fit in?
How does the movie go? Hey, fetch me some water. Farm boy, fetch me some water as you wish. That's my role here, as you wish. You know, I feel like I'm on Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other.
Does that make me Princess Bride?
There you go.
But I see this in our work. You know, as we travel in the world, we get to work with women all over the world. We have 4 daughters, and I look at women who are in their mature years, who, because of their experiences in life, feel like that door. You know, from the time they were 7 years old, and they've done amazing things in their lives. They've born children. They've led organizations. They've clothed the naked and healed the sick. But they still view themselves as an old clunky door. haven't given themselves permission, or just life, right? I guess there's that treasure's there.
Yeah,
So
it is. And we are women, and we do roar, huh, Stephanie?
Yeah, Seth. I definitely have a roar, but it only comes out when I need it to.
tell me about it. Tell me about it.
That's funny.
So let's talk about Africa. You have a foundation, and I know that you bless the lives of many women and girls.
Oh, yes. We have been so blessed. Hearts and Hands for Humanity. We kind of it's a God thing. We were kind of like led that direction. Gosh, I don't know why I'm so emotional all the time. So the Lord just opened up the doors. And when the opportunity came, Alan's like, I don't even know where Africa is. Why are we going to Africa? But the Lord has brought us there, and we've been blessed to be able to do what we do and to bless lives there, and the young girls there and the women there. We're just a little small portion of what we do over there because they're the ones that bless our lives. But we see these girls over there, and boy, they have some difficult things and some challenges there. The women in Africa, they deal with some issues of gender inequality, and they are not treated the same as men there, and they work hard. If you ever see an African woman, you just want to bow down and just praise her because she works so hard. You see her carrying a baby on her back with water on her head and things in her arms, and she works from the beginning of the day till the end of night. And these women work really hard. Did you have that perception when you were there?
Oh, definitely. I did. One thing that I really enjoyed was when we would go and talk to the women or girls or even just wave at them and how their countenance would light up. That was really beautiful for me to see that, and then also to feel their love. When we would give them a hug or take something to them and their gratitude and just that heart-to-heart connection was very powerful.
Exactly. I know that, we go there quite a few times. We have been there. And I'll see a particular woman, and I remembered her name, and she got tears in her eyes that I had remembered her name. And I'm like, you are of worth, you are beautiful. But she was amazed that this Mzungu, this white person, would remember her name after being there after months. You know what I mean?
That's powerful.
It was very touching.
How many trips have you made?
I've probably been there 6 or 7 times in the last 6 years. So yeah, we've been blessed to be able to do that. And we usually go to Tanzania, and it's a great place. It's a beautiful place to go. And we feel safe there. We feel very safe there. We take our groups over there, and we enjoy the beauty and the culture and the food. And it's just an amazing place. And you come back a changed person, for sure.
Definitely. I truly felt that when I was there, and that's one reason why I have so much passion for Africa now, is just when you go over there and it captivates your heart and you realize, like you said, not just how much you can give and do there, especially because they have so little, but how you come back changed and humbled.
It's a privilege to be among these people in reality. We love to take soccer balls, and soccer balls are a big hit in Africa.
Yes.
It's like holding gold in your hand. And kids start running everywhere. And I remember this experience. We were riding on the bus, and we were going through this old little village, and we had some soccer balls to give out. And the little boys are running by the bus, oh, we want a soccer ball. And out of the corner of our eye, we saw a little boy, well, he's in his teens, and he was crawling. His legs didn't work, and he was crawling to the bus trying to grab a soccer ball, and he has no legs that didn't work. And so Alan said, stop the bus, stop the bus. So we jump off the bus, and we go give this soccer ball to this kid. And it was the neatest experience. Everyone was in awe that, like, why are you giving a soccer ball to this kid? He's not going to be able to run with it. He's not going to be able to kick with it. But it was so touching for us to see this little boy and his smile on his face. It was just amazing. And that really pierced my heart because, everybody over there, there's so many of them. So these kids, and you want to help every one of them. And, one at a time. We get to help them one at a time.
Definitely.
How can we help?
Oh, come with us. Coming with us is the greatest thing you could do. Because once you go, you have the love, don't you? You want to go back, you want to serve, you want to do whatever you can to help these people. And the only way to do it is to go, because I can tell you all about it, but to actually be there in their presence, and they become like family to you.
Yes.
Or donate. Donations, we take donations for a water well. That's our main thing we do over there is we drill for water in the school, so it keeps the girls in school. And so they're in charge of bringing water home to the families. That's their main responsibility. So if there's no water at school, they don't go to school. So we drill in the schools. The girls come to school, get educated. We also do what they call Days for Girls kits that keeps the girls in school throughout the year, so they're not missing when they're on their cycle. And boy, being a woman throughout the world, third world countries, with cycles and periods, you can't talk about women without talking about periods and cycles.
You heard it here. You heard it here. For all the guys who are actually listening, I'm representing 4 billion guys who are not listening to this podcast, because this is a podcast for women. Right?
Exactly.
Well, I think men would be smart to listen because they could learn a lot about women and how to support and help them.
That's why I'm here. I will go and as you wish.
Okay.
That's a subject I want to talk about because I know that when you were in Africa,
Yes.
with a group, you had a pretty unique and special experience. And as a man, as a husband, as a father, I don't know what it was about that experience when you were teaching in school, but it touched me. Like I felt like this is significant, and I appreciate you saying that. We can't talk about women without talking about cycles, menstruation, periods. Amen. Let's do it.
Yep.
Right? And we really work on that in our home, right? To just be very practical, normal, easy, open.
It's just natural.
It's natural. It just happens. So it's it's not a
choice.
And it's not a taboo thing to talk about.
And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be, nor should it be. Sometimes, it's the taboo, it just doesn't get talked about, or if it does, it's a hand slap, right? We don't talk about that. And other times it's like it's used as a pejorative term, like it's negative, right? I'll say maybe shaming, right? Which one of the most beautiful things in the world is the mother of creation, right? And their cycles. We know it here in Utah because the cycle just changed. We went from reasonably warm yesterday to snow today, right? So speaking of cycles and changes, both of you, Steph, talk about your experience. Like I think women want to hear the details. They need to hear the details of how things are different, everywhere. But what is it like in Africa or in Tanzania where you are?
So what I was told was that the girls and women there, they're so poor that they can't afford to get supplies. I'm not sure about resources or what, but I know that, it's just, when you're worried about food, you're not going to go buy other things, right? That's just not going to be the priority. So they typically will find whatever they can to help stop the flow or, stop the flow so that they can go to school or they can, just have a life. And so frequently they will use other things like rocks or corn cobs to stop that. And so going over to Africa and taking these kits to these girls, sharing with them how to use them and how it's going to bless their lives. And honestly, one thing that really surprised me was when we did questions and answers after we showed them the kits and how to use them and whatnot, how to clean them and, make sure that they're sanitary and that they last a long time. Some of the girls were actually asking really good questions like, well, how's this going to affect my body? Are there side effects and different things like that, which I honestly was not expecting. But, I was also glad that they did have some knowledge of that so that we could help them with that. But it was empowering for me because growing up in a home with 6 sisters and no brothers, surprisingly, it actually wasn't talked a ton about around my father. It was kind of a taboo thing. And so that's how I grew up. I just turned 40 and I'm finally coming into myself in the last year to, or maybe even less, to be okay to talk about this thing that's very natural. Of course, I'm not going to be obnoxious about it or, go shout it everywhere or whatever. But for example, when we went on a business trip and my cycle came early, and I went up to at the hotel. I went up to the front desk and was asking this African American woman, do you have any supplies? I don't have any. I started early. And she was like, girl, why are you being so quiet about that? There's nothing to be ashamed of. It was amazing. And that, I think, was a big turning point for me to realize that I don't have to be quiet. I don't have to go shout it like she kind of did. But I also don't have to be quiet. It's okay to have needs and to ask for those things that I need to take care of myself. So anyways, it was really empowering for me and life-changing to go and teach these girls and to talk about it so openly. So I would say, 50 to 100 or more students, these youth. And
Ages?
I think it was like 14 to 17 or something like that. Somewhere around there, high school ages. And even with administrative, like teachers and principals or whatever that were around, like that was a big deal for me to just open up and talk about it. And my job was to talk about the silicone cups and show the girls, because I don't even think they've ever seen one in their life, to
Probably
show
not.
them, how to use it and how to insert it and everything. And I was just praying to God, like, help me, because this is so out of my comfort zone. But I want to bless their lives. Even if I can just help one girl,
Exactly.
it'll be worth coming out of my comfort zone. Something that I knew was coming was because of how it is in Africa. I knew that it would be, the girls would giggle or something like that would happen. And so I just prepared myself. Okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to giggle with them and let them know that this is okay? Or am I going to, just from experiences in my own life, am I going to make it more shameful? And I decided right then and there that I was just going to go along with it. And I'm so glad I did, because I could see all these girls as I'm demonstrating, I'm squatting and showing them how to use this. And then a whole bunch of them were like, and like turning to their neighbor and laughing. And so I laughed with them. And then I jumped right back into it and kept going. It was really powerful to be able to do that, not just for me, but for them. And to let them know that it's okay to laugh about this. It is awkward or unfamiliar talking this open. But I know that it blessed a lot of their lives. And we've actually gotten word back that the kits were very well received and that they're very grateful and how it's changed their lives.
I think the word was life-changing. Like these menstrual, these menstrual supplies, the silicone cup was like life-changing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one of the things that we've discovered, and I'm not sure if you did that on your trip, was to give the girls a silicone cup and then take one home to their mothers. Because they worried about the mothers taking them from their daughters.
Okay.
And of course, that's not very sanitary.
Yes.
And at the same time, when we were talking to the girls about their cycles, we were having the boys in another room with some men and some young men, talking to them about how to treat a girl. How do you treat a girl? Be respectful to them. And so my son was taking some questions, not by his choice, but by, they're like, do you guys have any questions about how you should treat a girl? Especially in Africa, because their culture is so different. And one little boy raised his hand and to my son said, and Peyton thought, oh, he's going to ask me how to treat a girl. You be very respectful, you open doors, whatever you have, Yeah. And he goes, why are you white and I'm black? And my son was like, it just struck him right then. He's like, how do I answer this? My son is like 14 years old, and here's this other 14-year-old boy wondering why. And he just, off the top of his head, had said, God has a plan for all of us, and he made us the way we are, and we're all special. And that goes along with all of us. We're all special in God's eyes. So that was very turning for Peyton. He's like, oh my gosh, that was not the question I thought you were going to ask me.
Totally.
But we are. Us as women, we're special. I love the story about the creation of the earth. God created the earth, and he separated the waters, and he made light and dark, and then he created the plants and the animals, and it got better and better as it went, correct? And then is man found on the earth? No, man's not found on the earth, so he created man. And then his very last creation was what? Woman. Woman. And I love that. because God didn't, we're not an afterthought. We are the last of his creations.
Crowning.
Yeah.
The crowning creation.
Yeah.
Right? Reminds me of Keith Urban's song, Female. If you've not listened to Keith Urban, Female, it's a great song.
I don't think I've heard
I
that
don't
one.
think I have it. Should we play it?
Yes.
Play it.
So how many wells has the foundation over the
Oh,
last, 7, 8, 10 years, whatever it is?
yes. So we have drilled and maintained.
That's important, maintaining, right?
yes.
A lot of these, sometimes work gets done, but doesn't get followed up.
Yep, like wells will go derelict and nobody takes care of them. But we have done over 266 wells, I think, in the countries of Tanzania, Malawi, Uganda, and Kenya. So our work is not done. We have lots more to do. But yes, we've done 266 wells that we've completed thus far in the last 7 years. And they're all dug by, they're all hand drilled with a earth-centered drill that we have. It's pretty amazing.
You got to drill that?
Yes.
I'm sure you've done that.
Yes. Yes, it's quite the experience.
Yes, it is. It is. I did get to help start the drill, doing the first one. I actually did the witching too, where you cross the wires to find the water. That was really cool.
Yeah, isn't
I've
that
never done that
amazing?
before.
And it works.
Yes.
People are like, oh, they buy this expensive equipment. And I'm like, no, you just take these 2 copper things and they cross over where there's water.
Yes, yes, it was amazing. And it was amazing to see all the different people that did it, so we could each have that experience and how it always crossed over at the same point. But then to step up and to see how hard, like the manual labor that goes into this is absolutely incredible. And to know that they do this for hours upon hours every day, Monday through Friday, correct?
Oh, Saturdays, sometimes
Saturdays, too.
Sundays,
Wow.
depending if we, yeah.
I mean, it's intense. It's a lot of work to just be sitting there, pulling it. And then when you hit rock, you have to go backwards and pound it again, back and forth to crush through those rocks. And I can tell you that I did it almost to one hole. I don't even know
Pipe
what it
length?
is. I'm sorry.
Pipe length?
Yes.
Yes.
Some of the other guys stepped in and started doing it faster, and I knew I would get hurt if I stayed. So that's why I backed out. I was like, okay, I've pretty much done one, so I'm good. I was exhausted after that. I gave it my all. So I can't imagine doing that
Day in and day out.
Day in and day out.
Yep. So this drill is really a cool drill that we have. It was created by the BYU engineering department. So kudos to them for creating this. And it's taken apart so we can take it into different villages, and it's easy to transport and put together. And our drill team, we call them our drill team. Rah, rah.
Every time you say drill team, I'm like, rah, rah, sis, boom, ba, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought the first
Exactly.
time when I was invited on the trip. I was like, drill team.
Are they taking a drill team to Africa?
Yeah, our cheerleaders.
Like I can cheer with the drill team. I'm good at that.
So we should call them our drill crew. But yeah, it's our drill
Okay,
team.
yeah, okay, that
go,
changes
yes.
it. But
They are like family to us. They're just
Yes.
awesome. We have about 6 to 8 on each drill that we have, and they're just awesome.
Then the residents of
They're locals.
They're locals in Africa.
They're locals, and they get paid, and they love working for us. Or please don't send us home. Please don't send us home. And so we have 3 drill crews, and we actually had to send our Uganda team home because of our donations are down. So we're waiting for our donations to pop back up so we can put all of these local boys back to work, because that's how they provide for their families. And everyone in Africa, that's one of the main problems right now is job opportunities. There's not a lot of job opportunities. And so when you have a good job, you want to keep it for sure. Yeah, that and education. And women over there, they need the education. It's amazing. They can even be educated and still not find work. People are kind of in the same mindset there in Tanzania. They do what their dads have done and their grandpas have done, and they haven't really progressed a lot. And I was thinking the other day, once we get these wells up and running and this clean water coming, this life-saving water, wouldn't it be cool if, like, a kid says, I could go deliver water. I could pump water, and I could go to locals out throughout the village, and they could pay me to deliver water to them. Become entrepreneurs, expand beyond all kinds of things. I was just thinking about that very little simple thing that somebody could do and just create job opportunities,
Totally changed their life.
Yeah. Yeah, someone could just take a hold of things, but we got to change, kind of like
The patterns, the
patterns.
education. So 266 wells, is that what you
Yes.
said, Tish? Can you walk us through, because we started to touch on it, and I want everybody who's listening to really understand the significance of having water. I heard a great sermon once, and the speaker posed the question, what's the most valuable resource on earth? And so, of course, people think gold, precious metals, oil, money, currency, real estate, and the answer is water. Water. Ask a farmer, they'll tell you water. Ask somebody in Africa,
Yeah.
water. Ask somebody who's sick because they don't have access to clean, potable water, right? It's water. What's the significance? How does that affect the community? And how does it affect women and girls? Like, why is this so important?
That's a great question. Yes. So water, if you want to call it water or maji, as they call in Swahili, is maji, or in Spanish, agua, is all the same, right? It's all life-saving. And it is such an important thing. It changes lives. Number one thing that popped into my mind is once we drill at a school and people have access to clean water, one of the things that we've just discovered is they get better teachers, because teachers want to go where there's water. They don't want to go to a school where there's not any clean water. They don't want to teach there. So that's a big thing right there too.
Wow.
Is the education is better because better teachers come to places where there's clean water. We just drilled this last in July in an area, and the teacher was so very thankful. We actually followed some of the kids. We also grow gardens too. That's another story. But they were out going to get water to go prep for a garden area, and we followed them to their water source, and it was this contaminated stream they had to go probably half a mile to just carry some water buckets, and that's what they were using for their school, for drinking and everything. And so when we finally got them their clean water, the school teacher said, well, he was the head of the school, he said, we are so very thankful because we've had so much typhoid go through this community and we have lost a few people. And he says it's just wonderful that we have this clean water. And before they had the clean water, one of our guests had chicken that was cooked there, and she got a little sick. And I'm like, yeah, we don't eat out of these areas until we have clean water.
Yes.
So we eat in the towns. We don't eat out in the villages. But that is how important it is. It's just crazy. And for girls and women, like I said, that sends the girls to school to get clean water. But just for hygiene purposes, being a woman with our monthly cycles, it's important to stay clean. And it keeps us healthy as well. Women need clean water to stay healthy.
Well, and one thing that I love to think about is not just how it affects that one girl, but how it's going to affect the village and that family for generations, how it really changes them and their opportunities.
Exactly. It does. You change one village, you're going to change the world, right? And their lifestyle will change.
So how can people donate?
On our site, we'll have on our website, it's heartsandhandsforhumanity.org/donate, or just get on our heartsandhandsforhumanity.org and check out our whole website. You can see the life-changing experiences that happen there. You can donate. You can do a monthly donation. You can sign up for trips. You can sign up for product.
Highly recommend signing up for the trips.
Yes.
I'm dying to go back.
We want you and Seth to come.
Yes.
As you wish.
As you wish. I love that. You're going to be there. So we have a trip coming up here next week, November. Then we have a trip in February and March, and 2 in June. So, and you can also climb Mount Kilimanjaro if you like.
Wow.
We custom a trip for you. So whatever your desire, because Alan and I have been there many times, Connie's been there many times, and this is your trip. So we have a basic outline itinerary, but we will do what you want you to do because this is your trip. This is your experience.
And as much as, on these trips, it's very well-rounded. It's absolutely incredible. to do all the service that you get to do there, but also, you know, the other fun experiences like a safari. And as much as I loved the safari, it was my first, and I don't know how I'm ever going to top it because it was just so incredible. But just all the humanitarian work, you know, it just really touches your heart, and you leave a better person, you know, and it makes you want to come back for that, you know, to help them.
Yeah, we had a family that just went with us in July, and they had their 2 girls with them, and their girls were 8 and 10. And these are world traveler girls, and they've been everywhere. They've been across the world, and they said this was their favorite trip ever as an 8 and 10-year-old. Because, you know, you do. It's not just going and having fun, but you serve other people. And when you serve other people, it's life-changing.
Well, we love to travel, but it is more than seeing sights. You know? In fact, you know, the more you travel, the kind of the less impact value, I think sometimes, you know, having the picture in front of the building it really is about experiences. I think at that next higher level, it's about experiences. The highest level, it's who you become, like how it changes you. And I think that's why, you know, that's why these trips to Africa are so impactful, because yes, you're seeing Kilimanjaro, you know, you're in Africa, right? Your toes are in African sand. But it's the experiences you're having, and then how it changes you. It's who you've become, and you can't stop talking about it in a good way. In a good way. I mean, you know, if you know us, if you know me and Stephanie, then, you know, we may have asked you, you know, are you coming to Africa with us? Or actually, more appropriately, when are you coming to Africa with us? So.
Yep. And I definitely, anytime somebody brings it up, or they'll ask me about my bracelet, and I'm like, oh, let me tell you, you know, and I just light up because it takes me back to those experiences and those people, not just Africa as a whole, but each one of those people that I was able to connect with, and just share my heart with. Yeah, it takes me back.
It does. It's a wonderful experience. It's one that will hold with you forever. You can leave Africa, but Africa can't leave you.
It's so true.
So it's beautiful.
It is.
Well, on this podcast, we talk about self-care, right? And I mean, water is definitely in there, top of the list.
Definitely.
For everybody, especially women. We talk about mindset, the mind, the body. We talk about finances and money, because they're so critical for women these days. Well, let's talk about mindset. You're a mother. Tell us a little about your family.
My mother?
No, you're a mother. You're a mother.
You are a mother.
I am
You are a mother.
I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. You know, women have all kinds of titles, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing. I love the saying that someone said, you know, you give a woman groceries and she creates dinner. You give a woman a house and she creates a home. You give a woman a sperm and she creates a baby. You know, women are creators. We are that by nature, right? We're nurturers, we're creators, and that's one of our special gifts that God has given us, is we are creators. And so being a woman is just absolutely wonderful. And that's what I've told my little kids and my girls and my little grandbabies. I have 5 little grandbaby girls, and one of my daughter-in-laws, my little 2-year-old, will sit in the mirror, she's now 3, and she'll say, my name's Blakely. I'm beautiful. I'm a good listener. And she does her whole affirmations, you know? And that's what we as women need to do every morning. We get up in the morning, whether we have pimples all over our face that morning or a bad hair day. I am beautiful. I am Tish. I am a great mother, a great grandmother. You know, whatever we are. And we need to tell our minds that so our bodies know it. So affirmations, I totally believe in that. That's part of our self-care is telling ourselves we are enough.
Definitely. I was doing that this morning when I was taking my cold shower.
Oh, good for you, a cold shower?
Yes.
It's just because I didn't pay the
No, this is my choice.
Oh, I know. How long were you in there for?
Well, I take my really nice long hot shower, and then at the very end, I try to take a 2-minute, 3-minute cold shower. And I lift my arms. Oh yeah, like I've gotten to where it's like ice cold, where I have to like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I breathe through it, you know. But something that my friend taught me, her therapist told her when she does a cold shower to do affirmations. And so that when you go through these hard times, that your mind automatically goes to those affirmations. And I can tell you, it is so powerful. So I was doing that this morning because I was a little bit nervous about this podcast today. And I was just sitting there telling myself, you know, that I am brave and I'm confident and I'm enough and I deserve this, you know, to help others and other things too. But anyways, it's
I
very
love
impactful.
that. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a 2-minute cold shower and yell out our affirmations.
So you've hit on a few of those affirmations. Top 10 list. What are your top 10 list affirmations that women need right now in the world?
That's a good question.
That's a darn good question.
That's a really
That's
good
not
one.
scripted. Boom, you hit
Okay,
the spark.
Stephanie, what do you think? I think number one is they need to know they're enough.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That is a huge problem amongst
You
women
are
and girls.
enough.
I am enough.
I am enough. One that I feel like goes along with that is I am whole or I'm complete.
Ooh, that's a really good one. With all the abuse that goes on in this world, whether it's physical, mental, whatever it is.
Emotional, spiritual,
Yep.
sexual. Yes. Yes.
I
am
love
whole
that. I am whole.
or I'm complete.
I like, okay, the women affirmation that I like to use,
Which one do you like to tell me?
baby, you all of them. You all of them.
Good answer.
Along with that, I am whole. Like I will, you know, I use affirmations, right? But I am perfect because that's a hard way. Like I am perfect.
Like
Whoa,
even you
whoa,
saying
whoa.
that, I was like
hold
cringing. Wait, no.
I am perfect in this moment.
Enough.
I'm perfect. Like I am perfect. I'm perfect in this moment. You don't need to qualify it, right?
Oh, that's good.
Do you know
That's
what
hard
I'm
to say.
I'm
Let's
still
say it.
cringing.
I am perfect.
Let's do it together.
Okay, we're ready. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
I am
I'm
perfect.
perfect.
I am perfect.
I am perfect.
I am perfect.
Yes, that is a good one. So that's what, 3? We got
Work
3
on that
down.
one. I think one is I am loved
Exactly.
is a huge one.
That's something that's world. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everybody needs to know that they're loved or they won't survive.
Yes. Yes.
That's a good one.
Oh, I just had another one. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I am happy. No matter what your circumstances, I am happy. I am happy. Everybody needs to be happy. That'll change the world.
Well, and it's so amazing to me when I went to Africa to see how little they have. These kids are outside kicking around rocks because they don't have a soccer ball. And they are just laughing and have these smiles on their faces or kicking around a ball of trash, you know?
Yep.
So happy. They are so happy.
They are. Our kids need to take note of that because they have many things and they act like they're not happy.
Yes.
Exactly. I love that. Yeah, those kids. I wonder if it's part of grounding because those kids are out there running around in the dirt barefoot all the time. I wonder if we should run around in the dirt barefooted for a while and maybe we'll be a little more
Love
happy.
grounding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolute love
I
grounding.
do like it too. I think another affirmation, and maybe it kind of goes along with one of the other ones, is I have value or I give value. I think a lot of women struggle seeing their worth and knowing it and knowing that they have something to give to others.
Yeah, absolutely. How about I am beautiful?
I absolutely.
I am beautiful. You know, some of us think that we have to fit in this mold, especially with social media. You know, we all have to have this mold, but all of our women, we're all different. And so everything's different about us. We're not going to be the same. And so you are beautiful who you are. I like that one
just
too.
loving you for
Yep.
who you are. We work with women. That's Stephanie and I professionally primarily work with women. We chose that, right? And I love watching. We follow women on online, and I don't want to say influencers as much, but people of influence, right? Content creators. One of the things I absolutely love is just when you see women just loving who they are. Outside of that, not even out. Like I'm not even going to talk about the mold. Like they're themselves. I was going to say unit 001. Like we're not numbered. Well, we are numbered. We all have a number, but God numbers us all. He knows us. He named us. But you need to know that you're beautiful and perfect and enough in this moment, even if that means it's 20 pounds north of where you thought you wanted to be or need to be or feel like you need to be, which is really super not healthy, right? Right? whatever your shape is, like you got to know that you love you.
Yeah.
Because you're more than a shape too.
One affirmation that sometimes I have to tell myself, and that I'm finding, a lot of women who've been through trauma, different types, is telling my body and my mind and my heart that I'm safe.
Oh, that's a good one.
The girls every night, our girls listen to affirmation. I'm going to tell a story. We got to tell
Oh.
her. You need to tell that story actually, because you actually lived it. You were closer. I just kind of stole the story. But they have an affirmation. Our girls listen to affirmation every single night.
Awesome.
An hour. We put it on, and it's just gorgeous and beautiful. And but it says, "I am safe and secure."
That is, especially in this world we live in.
Yes.
I'm so sad about those shootings in Maine last night. And
I didn't hear about those.
22 people, last I've heard,
Oh my
there's probably more
goodness.
that were killed. And just sad things happening. But if somebody, if they would have known they're of worth, that they're loved, that they're safe, maybe things like that don't happen in the world.
Yeah. Yes.
We're at 7.
We're at 7.
Top 10.
Okay.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
This comes back to
Yeah.
kind of the value thing, but I am worthy. Like, we work with women entrepreneurs, and one of the mindsets that people have to accept if you want to be successful, if you want to attain something, is that you're worthy of it. No, I will be worthy once I do all the work. Then I'll be worthy. No, because the only way that you're going to go through the process and actually get it is you have to be worthy before you ever get what it is that you're wanting, and you have to accept that you're worthy. Whether that's
Yeah.
for $1 million or 10 million or this month's rent. I love I am worthy. I've always that's kind of
worthy.
like that's a personal
There's-
one for me.
There's a quote. I love quotes, and I have like hundreds of them, if not more.
Quote
So-
queen. I'm going to say thousands. Do you know how many gigabytes on her
it's
phone are
probably
dedicated
accurate.
to quotes?
They
Yeah.
speak to me, and sometimes frequently I have a hard time articulating my feelings, and so quotes really help me with that. And I may butcher this one. I haven't read this one in particular in a long time, but it said something to the effect of, "I came to earth with my worth. I didn't come to hustle for it."
Oh,
I was like, whoa, okay, yeah.
yeah. I love that. That reminds me of that little John, by the way. He says, if you could just peek a little bit in the veil and see what you're really like, your life would change immensely.
Totally.
If we could just take a little tiny peek of what we were and before we came to earth, we would totally live our lives a little different. I want to do
100%.
that. I want to do that.
Well, that's for me, these affirmations. I know sometimes people, especially those, I think, friends who have a deep Christian, a deep rooted Christian background, sometimes, discussion of affirmations, and, frequency and energy and attraction, sometimes like certain sects, or kind of groups of Christians are like, whoa, right? We're getting a little woo-woo here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And people start tapping themselves, and Christians are like, well, holy cow, no, we need to go to church, right? That's where we're gonna.
You need to go confess.
And we do we teach women and reinforce women entrepreneurs about affirmations. Like, it's a daily part.
That's
like, you work with
awesome.
us, you're making affirmations every day. And as I've worked with Christians, we love our Christian faith, and that's the beginning and the end, right? Alpha and Omega. But this is how I've explained it, because I've had Christians come to me and say, I'm not necessarily comfortable with this affirmation stuff, right? And I am, like, God is I am. Like, who's God's child? Well, I am. You are. Like, I'm a child of God, all right? Well, if God is the great I am, then what does that make you? You've got a little of that I am in you, so you can say I am, right?
Exactly.
But I truly believe that if and when I'm able to have that conversation, or if you were to speak to me right now, you know what he'd be saying? Like, can you imagine God saying to you, you're not valued. You're not worthy of me. You're not safe or secure, and I didn't make you beautiful. You're not enough. Like
It's not even
unfathomable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go back to the movie, inconceivable, right? That's like when you find these affirmations that speak to you, I believe it's because it resonates with your soul, and it is almost like peeking through that veil. And I feel if we're going to give the 10, we're almost there,
Okay.
ladies. But if a woman or a man, right?
Yes.
I'm here. But if you were to say these, to talk to yourself every day and repeat these 10, you would not recognize yourself in a year from now, because it would change your life. Because I think you're looking through the veil at how God feels about you.
Yeah.
You know?
So how about the one of, because you have to see it in order to believe it, right? So what about I am rich? Rich in blessings, rich in monetary. If you don't see it, you won't be it, right? So if I say I am rich, whether in blessings, monetary, whatever, it'll come about.
Love.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yes.
You have to accept that, right? The whole mindset,
Yep.
you know, there's so much negative, false programming where, and here we come. It's not just those of us who are Christians, right? But we teach in the church, right, that money is the root of all evil. Well, that's a misteaching, because it's the love, or really the greedy love of money, right, that is the root of all evil, right? But people have kind of think, well, have been taught that, you know what, you don't need money to be happy. Well, you're right, you don't need money to be happy. But I'm telling you,
You can bless a lot of lives.
Exactly. You can come to Africa.
you can build wealth.
Many, many
But
times and donate towards.
You have to have resources, and money's a
Yes.
resource,
Exactly.
right?
So going along with my whole quote thing,
Yes.
one quote that I read was, money is nor good or evil. It amplifies who you are.
Oh, I love that.
So if you have money, then you're able to spread what you have more of to others.
Have you ever
Absolutely.
met a gentleman that had lots of money, but you didn't know he was rich? Yeah. Those are the good old boys that, you know, they share the love and they share what they have and their resources, but you would never know how much money they really had.
He's wearing overalls, or,
Yeah.
you know, still shopping at the thrift store. Just kidding.
I may have been there yesterday.
Stephanie has not been to the thrift store since yesterday.
I love to
even
get a good bargain.
$24.
That does something to your brain when you know that you can get a good deal.
Here we
we
go.
were just talking about that
I'll check
last
back
night.
with all y'all in about 20 minutes when they're done talking about this.
Yes.
It does. I love
Yes.
that.
Well,
It's a good
I mean,
deal.
part of it too, honestly, is I'm like, well, why would I go spend $25 on a book when I can go to DI and get it for $2? And I can use the 23 for something else that's good. You know,
Yep.
I frequently, this is kind of how my mind is. You know, I grew up not with a lot of money. And then when I got married the first time, yes, I've been married before.
The things you find out, like you bring a girl to a podcast and you find out that she's been married before. She married you.
It's a joke he likes to say a lot.
I do. That's one of my favorites. Wait, you've been married? People are like,
And then just being a single mom, you know, and lacking, knowing that, well, you know what? I know there are other single moms out there that could use that $23. So if I can save it here, then I can go share it here. So that's a lot of where it comes from, actually, is so that I can share with others.
You got another affirmation?
we're at 9 right now.
So one affirmation, which kind of I like to say to myself, is I am His, meaning God or Christ.
That's perfect.
Both of them.
So here's the 10. Here's the 10.
Okay, read them off again.
Okay.
So I am His. I am rich. I am worthy. I am safe and secure. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am whole and complete. I am perfect. I am happy. I am valued.
Those are great.
Now you can come up with your own too, right? This is a very personal thing. You got to tell the story. You got to tell the story, the I can story, babe.
Which one?
In Hawaii.
Oh, okay. So
You're talking about your granddaughter Blakely, right? So I don't know, 2 years ago, probably 2 years ago or so, we started doing officially, like, we have a good friend we hired as a mindset coach as well, and introduced her to people around the world that we work with. Kind of had a program and listened to what we call these neuro tools, right? An affirmation, background music, morning one to get you moving, right? And binaural ones, which is actually really interesting from a neuroscience standpoint. You need to put headphones on because they're in stereo. They're gonna plug one message into your left ear and another message into your right ear. Because as soon as I invite you to say, Stephanie, I am I am perfect, what happened?
I got uncomfortable.
You got uncomfortable because there was a message, there was an affirmation coming. I am perfect. Well, guess what? I'm perfect. What's happening? 39 years or 33 years of crap that you've been hearing because you didn't hear, you heard that before, but in the negative. You suck. You're not perfect. You're not enough. Like all those things. What are you really gonna? You're just like so and so. And so the whole neuroscience idea behind binaural programming is that in one ear you'll hear "I am beautiful," and in the other ear right after that you will hear "You are beautiful," because we really need to bombard the brain, right, with multiple programs, multiple messages, and doing the I am, because as soon as you say I am and you insert that word that maybe you've struggled with, like that's the burden, that that's the monkey on your back that you've had since 7 years old because your dad or your older brother or whatever, right, or your third grade teacher. Then there's that other affirmation right there saying you are, right? So anyway, we're doing all of these. We have nighttime ones. Our girls listen to this nighttime one, and it's kind of I can, and the mantra recurring in the theme is I can, I will, I am, I can do it, I will do what is required, and I'm enough, I'm worthy, I'm secure, right? So they've kind of got this programming. We've been working on it since these girls have been 3 years old, 5 years old. Now they're 5 and 7. And so we're in Hawaii, and I'll give it to you.
We went to a business meeting, and it was at one of our business friends' homes. She asked if the kids wanted to go in the back and play. And so I went with them. Her son was there and a neighbor boy.
10-year-old kind of sports, I don't want to say macho boys, but like kind of what I would be at 10 years old. I'm into sports and I'm cool,
Yeah.
Right?
And you drool. Boys
I'm cool. Of course I drool. Of course I drool. Right? So that's kind of the context. Like imagine mom and these two little girls was that 2 years ago, babe?
Probably we're coming up on 3. It was in December.
Okay, so they were 3 and 5. I think she was 6 at the time. She's almost 8, right?
5 and 3.
And she's in this interaction with these older, right? Like think about our cultures and think older, kind of masculine, tough, cool boys. I mean, they're great boys, but they were sports soccer boys, right? They got that confidence. Okay.
They had, I think it was the PlayStation or something, some game unit that
console,
they wanted to play. And they were like, okay, do you want to play this game? And, oh, yeah, let's do it. So they went and started looking for this game to put in the console. This young man couldn't find it. And so he started saying, oh, I'm so stupid. So stupid. I can't find this. And our little girl, somewhere around 6 years old, she was like, don't say that. Say, I can, I will, I am, yes. And then go look for it. And he was, I don't remember. You're always the one telling the story, so I can't remember all the details.
That's what we teach these girls. When they encounter kind of like the affirmations in the cold shower, right? When you encounter something, you say, when you can't buckle your seatbelt, right? When you can't, make that relationship work, or it's not, I can, I will, I am, yes. And these girls do it, and it's not always easy. Let me tell you, we have breakdown times where no, I can't. Okay, well let's reframe. Let's retell that story anyway. Apparently the kid's like, I wish I was there. It's like, can you imagine this 6-year-old girl telling this 6-year-old girl outside of her element in her home, in their territory, their home. It's like, I'm a 10-year-old kid in my bedroom, and this little girl's coming and telling me saying, I can, I will, I am. Yes, it's like. And he's like, okay, I can, I will, I am, yes. And guess what happened?
He found it. And did he sing praises?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But I'll tell you, I was so proud of my girls.
That is a great
so
experience.
proud of my girls. Like,
Oh,
wow, look at you. Look at you.
changing the world one person at a time.
That's right. One game
Doesn't have to-
console.
yes.
Game edit.
One 10-year-old boy at a time.
That's
I was like, that was a moment as a dad, as a girl dad.
That's awesome.
Okay, this has nothing to do with mindset, but just saying girl dad. So we were down in southern Utah over the weekend or last week, and they have a little splash pad there in St. George, Utah, kind of in the middle of the old town, a little creek and a little waterfall, right? And so all the kids, like that's a hot place. So that's the hangout. All the kids. And their parents bring them. There's a splash pad and all these rocks and stuff you walk through. And I'm just kind of standing there in water that's 2-3 inches deep, in my shorts, and the girls are running around and splashing, having a fun time. And Stephanie was still in the RV.
Yeah,
she was
getting
about
ready.
to come over, and all of a sudden this dude just comes and stands by me, this thick dude, and he's kind of got.
Well, I even walked up and was like, why are they standing so close? Maybe he knows him. Like,
But
He's in your bubble.
I mean, 'cause
he was
Seth was totally in his bubble. And Seth knows people all over the world. Like, everywhere he goes, we went to Japan the first time I went. And all of a sudden, I start speaking in Japanese and knows this guy from 10 years back or whatever.
Oh yeah. We were out at the on the wharf.
Yep.
In Kamakura.
So going to St. George is, him meeting somebody's not a big deal. So I'm like, I'm chalking it up to, he sees a friend or somebody he knows. Okay. I guess I'll get to meet him in a minute.
I'm like, hey, there's this dude right in front of me. He's like, you a girl dad?
Oh.
I'm like, I mean, I'm playing with my girls right there. I got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and they're running around, but so there are a lot of other kids. I'm like, and then I look down at both of our feet.
I can guess.
Guess what?
Painted toenails.
Yes! Both of us have relatively
New coats of paint.
semi-chipping toenail paint. Mine are multicolored because the girl, like Hannah did one foot and Ruthie did another foot, And I look down and this dude, he's got the same thing. And he's like, girl dad, huh? He's like, my daughter wanted me to come stand by you.
Did you get a picture?
We did not.
And they even live close by us.
Yeah. Funny thing is, they live here. They're local. They're probably 15 minutes from our house.
That
Never
is
met him
so
before.
great.
But start talking to him, and hey, by the way, what's your name? Because we were girl dads.
That is
And I
awesome.
said, how awesome is that?
Well, and I walk up and he's like, yeah, guess what we're bonding over? And I'm like, I have no idea. And I look down and I'm like, your toenails.
He's got girls too.
That's great.
It was wonderful.
Girls rule.
And boys are cool. Okay?
With
They
painted
are.
toenails. That's
Yes.
Are cool.
That's awesome.
All right, so these are the 10. Those are the 10. Mindset,
great.
how important. How important.
Yeah. It is I can, I am, I will.
I can, I will, I am.
I am. Yes.
And the yes has to have a fist bump.
Oh,
Yeah, they do.
Yes.
We have this mindset coach. Her name's Deb Erickson. Phenomenal coach and entrepreneur and business owner. But we picked up her curriculum, her approach, and
Awesome.
I've just loved it. It's been fun to watch it. And the girls, honestly, it's been fun to watch it in me. It's changed my life.
It does. It changes. Affirmations are great. Have you ever heard of the book called Tiny Habits? Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg. Have you heard that?
Yes.
I've heard
It's a great book to
think
get
he and I
started
probably-
on anything that you want to change in your life, like affirmations. If it's hard for you to do one thing, he starts off by saying, if you want to floss your teeth, get in the habit, floss one tooth. Or if you want to learn how to, exercise, do one push-up, and it talks about just baby steps on everything. So if you get up in the morning and you're like, okay, I want to do affirmation, just get in the habit of tiny little habits every day, and you'll become a proficient person at it. And these affirmations will just flow after a while. So anyway, Tiny Habits. It's a good book.
I love it.
Yeah. Look at that one.
Do you know a little about health, Tish? I mean, you're in the
Piquito.
health community, right? A little.
Kidogo in Swahili and Piquito in Espanol. I know a little. I'm not a professional, but I know a little. Yes.
You've been in healthcare.
Yeah, I've worked at the Riverton Hospital, Intermountain, for 14 years now in the nutrition part. So,
Like, without diving super in depth, what do you think the biggest health challenges we're going through right now? Women are experiencing right now.
women,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you an experience. So I went to the eye doctor a few years ago, and the doctor looked in my eyes, and he looked at him again and again, and he says, "You have 2 optic pits in your eyes, 1 in each eye." I says, "What does that mean?" He goes, "You're going to go blind." I'm like, "What?" So he showed me pictures. I have these 2 optic pits in my eyes, and I was just like, no way. And I was in tears, and my husband's like, we left that doctor's office, and Alan says, "We're going to travel the world and see everything before you go blind." And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I says, "We are going to another doctor." We went to another doctor, and he says, "Yep, you do have these optic pits. Nothing's really going to happen unless you hit your head so hard that those will just fill up with water and you can go blind." He says, "You're not going to go blind." I'm like, why did a doctor tell me this? And so as I started thinking about it, we as women, we know our bodies. Sometimes we know them better than a lot of doctors. They don't know us. And in the olden days, they used to have doctors that took care of the whole family, right? They delivered your baby. They took care of colds. They did everything. Now we have doctors that are in specialties, right? So, you have to get a referral to go see that doctor. And that doctor doesn't really know your history, but they're going to diagnose whatever you have, right? This is a problem. I wish we had the doctors that took care of the whole thing, the whole body. They deliver my babies. They know me, my person. They know my family. They know everything. I miss those days. So I think one of the things that we need to do as women is just really take self-care, right? Investigate, research, do things, because you've heard the stories of people saying, "Oh, the doctor says you have 3 months to live, you got cancer." The person dies in 3 months. They did an autopsy, no cancer found. Your mind is an amazing tool, and it believes whatever you say. And so if a doctor told you that, you're like, So anyway, there's a lot of things we can still fix in this system. And one of the things, that did not make me happy when they told me I was going to go blind. And so a lot of things, women nowadays, we just need to take our health care in our own hands sometimes and, try to figure out things on your own. Because the body is amazing. It will heal.
Yes.
Unless there's something traumatic going on, your body has opportunity to heal itself.
So it reminds me of an experience I had after I gave birth to our youngest child. I experienced pelvic organ prolapse. And I had gone to a physical therapist to help with that. And it did get better, but I was still experiencing some symptoms from it. And so I started looking I searched everywhere because I'm like, I don't know where to go from here. And anyway, so I ended up finding a group on Facebook, and they were talking about the very thing, the ailment that I was specifically going through. And they were saying, well, why don't you go to a urogynecologist? And so I was like, okay. So I went to a urogynecologist thinking, oh, this is a female. She's going to, be able to relate. It was an absolutely awful experience. I'm not going to go into details on that right now. But one thing that she did was at the very end, she's just like, there's nothing you can do to heal what's going on. And Seth was with me because I needed that support. And he was like, so you're telling me that there's absolutely nothing she can do to improve her situation now? And she was like, yep, just go on. If you want to have more babies, have them, or just, whatever, just keep going. And I was just like, she's obviously never dealt with prolapse. Otherwise, she would not be giving that kind of advice, because something's got to give, just where I was at. And so, but because of where I was at vulnerably and my mindset, for like 3 days, I just bawled my eyes out. And I'm just like, there's nothing I can do. I just have to live with this pain, or I have to live with these symptoms for the rest of my life till I die. Like, at that time, I think I was only 36. I'm like, this can't be. Like, I know things like this happen as you age and get older, but this can't be. Until finally, just something inside me, which I know it was God saying, are you really going to believe that?
Yeah.
You know, or do you believe that I have the power to help you to heal? And so after just feeling that and knowing that there's obviously something, because I don't believe that God would just put me in a situation or allow me to be in a situation where there's nothing I can absolutely do. And so once I took my power back and I said, no, I don't believe that. I don't know what it is that's going to help heal me, but I know that there is something out there that is going to help me. And I don't have to live with this for the rest of my life. And it's true. Like I've been on this journey and it's been wonderful to heal.
Awesome. I love that word, power. That's what we are. Yeah. The mind and the body is all powerful when you put God in the picture. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we can do. I mean, doctors can do their best.
They're practicing.
Yeah, they're practicing, and give them all the credit that they can. But yeah, our bodies are an amazing thing. And your body is different than my body. And all the women out here, everybody's body is different. So it's going to react different. It's going to be like COVID. Everybody had different symptoms from COVID experiences, right? Because everybody's bodies are different.
Well, it's wonderful. We live in an age of incredible science.
Amen. Yep.
And discovery, diagnostics, and yet there's still, we're not suffering maybe with consumption, tuberculosis, misdiagnoses, infant mortality like we used to. But guess what? We got a whole host of problems going on, right? Heart disease and mitochondrial dysfunction and diabetes and cancer. And it's wonderful to have all these specialties. Absolutely wonderful to have the science. Beyond that, you're the CEO of your health.
Exactly.
Every
That's a good
woman
point.
has to know that anyone else is an advisor, right?
I like
God's the
Me too.
creator, you're the CEO, and everybody else, well, God's the creator and the healer, right?
Yes.
You're the CEO, right? You're the chief executive when it comes to your health. Nobody else. And anybody else are the team of advisors that you've put on your board, right?
Yes.
And don't forget who's in
That's a good
charge.
point.
Yeah, you hired them.
That's right. I love that. And I'm in the nutrition part, and so food can heal or food can hurt too, depending what you need at the time. But I remember this experience. We had a 90-year-old lady come in the hospital. Cutest thing ever. And the doctor put her on a very restrictive diet for food. I'm like, she is 90 years old. Let her eat that chocolate cake.
Yes, amen.
She knows her body. I was just amazed. I was like, I'm going to give her this chocolate cake, whether you like it. So, I mean, living to 90, she did great. So, yeah, our bodies do amazing things. Give them the right things, rest, sleep that it needs, right proper food, exercise, just what your body, water, agua,
I
maji.
was actually listening to somebody last night talk about how water is so, I want to say powerful again, but it is. And this woman was talking about how she had these different health issues and that she upped her water to a gallon a day and both of those health issues went away.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Yeah. Water just, it helps your whole body. Toxins, whatever you need, but drink lots of water.
Yes.
You better drink some more.
As you wish.
Okay.
Okay. I think what we want to do is we want to ask some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Just Stephanie will ask one, then I'll ask one. It's the last page, babe. Mash up.
Okay. What is self-care to you? What does that mean to you?
Oh, like we kind of talked about, taking on your own, being your own CEO of your own body, because you know it better than anybody else. Self-care, just listen to what your body has to say, and with the help of God, you can take care of yourself.
What are your most important self-care approaches personally?
Movement and social. Be moving and be social, because if you're social, you won't have the mental issues that some people have if you're out socializing with people. Moving, that means you're being physical, you're out socializing, just moving. Those are the two big ones for me, as well as food.
If you were to give some advice to your 20-year-old self, what would you tell that girl?
Oh my goodness. Eat the chocolate.
10 million women are chanting right now.
20 years old. But you're still, 20. That it's okay. It's going to be all right, you know? The journey's long and you live long, but it's going to be a perfect life for you. I think everything's great, you know? Yeah, that's what you need to know is that everything's confident. You're going to be confident living this life that you're going to live.
Your word for 2024. For you, what's the one thing? What's the one thing?
I don't know. Have you thought about 2024?
No, I get to ask the questions. I'm not answering them.
I haven't got through
Well,
2023
since you
yet.
just asked, that came up was
good.
worth. I
Worth.
need to work on my worth.
Good. I love that one.
Or your perception of your worth. Because your worth's already
Yes,
there, right?
that's true.
Your
I came with
perception.
my worth. I
Yep,
need to
you did
see
come
my
with
worth
your
through
worth.
God's eyes.
Right? Take out the duster, a little shine. You know, a little old English, shine that up.
Can I get back with you on that?
Yeah.
I'll have to
we'll
come
leave
back
that
on
with you.
another podcast and just
Love
tell you
it.
what it is.
Okay.
Love it.
Or I'll text it to you.
Sounds good. What area of your self-care is your biggest weakness right now? Do you write that one for me?
You know, I'm just going to be very open and vulnerable here, but probably spiritually. Sometimes, you know, you're on a roller coaster and you can feel very spiritual. And then sometimes you feel like you're more in a funk. And I think right now, just to be the way the things have been in my life, I think spiritually right now I'm at the downside. Not that I've lost my testimony or anything, because but I think spiritually I could do a lot better. That's probably my weakest one right now. Don't tell anybody.
Honestly, I'm feeling like, man, I feel the same way. Like I don't know if I told you that, but yeah. So I get it, and I appreciate. That's why we're here. That's why we've got these mics on, is because listen, you're feeling that, Tish. I mean, Tish, you just came in and rocked this podcast.
You guys
Are you
are so
kidding me?
sweet.
Like I knew it was going to be good.
Oh, you're very
I
kind.
knew it was going to be really good, but it's been beyond good.
Oh, I knew it would be that way.
No, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for inviting me. It's been a lot of fun sharing these thoughts and getting exposure out there. So thank you.
We appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing a part of your heart with us.
No, thank you.
So heartsandhandsforhumanity.org. You can donate. You can even sign up for a trip or indicate that you're interested in a trip. You're on Instagram at, what's the handle?
Hearts and Hands for Humanity.
At Hearts and Hands for Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep. And we have a newsletter and you can sign up for that. And then you get to hear monthly what we're doing and our successes that's going on and how much we need you. Every one of you.
And cut. It's a wrap.
Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for sharing this episode with that one friend who needs this conversation. Thank you for all the ratings, the reviews, the comments, and especially the support. We so appreciate you.
Now, if you want to take a peek behind the curtain and be the first to know about special previews, backstage updates here at the show, and especially some private collection content that doesn't come out in the regular show,
Be sure to join our VIP community at theforeveryoungshow.com.